Sushi jackknife. 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 Sushi jackknife.
Are you some kind of pyromaniac tonight?
Well, you left a lighter.
That lighter has literally been here for...
Look how tall the flame gets when I go to the right.
It's like 4 inches.
Yeah.
Wow. Why is that you said towards the right?
Yeah, when I move the...
Oh, when you move the little slider.
The little plus or minus slider on a lighter.
Right. That's the one that tells you if you're going to give it more juice or not. Yeah. Did you know? I didn't know this. This is a little nerdy. There's a little like piezo thing inside the lighter that makes it do the initial spark. Don't burn the microphone, Nathan.
Why? What's the worst?
Whoa. I mean, I don't know.
It's a hot mic. It's a hot mic.
How flammable is your beard?
I don't know. I've never tried to light it on fire.
Well, tonight's the night.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot.
There's a little piezo crystal inside lighters like this. And it's like a little crystal that when you hit it, it gives off energy.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what's in like cheap microphones too. Piezos.
So what you're saying is this is actually magic.
Yeah, it's every lighter, particularly the long ones like that. They're magic.
They're filled with magic, and someday the magic runs out, and then you have to go get a new lighter.
Yeah, the big company for years and years has been trafficking in the occult.
I would like to know how many times they've had conversations well, first off, I have to start by saying what we have here is your standard red grill lighter.
Yeah, exactly.
That every human being has.
Right. Even in the middle of the jungle.
Right.
Every single citizen gets issued one at birth.
I would like to know how many times at the standard red grill lighter company they've had conversations about, we could just put less lighter fluid in it and no one would even notice.
Oh.
Because you can't tell. They have the little window.
Yeah, that little window.
But does the window tell you anything?
Yeah, it could be bullshit, right? The little window could be total bullshit.
Yeah.
I feel like every time they get a new hire in their, like, sales department, that's, what would his name be? Bentley's new idea.
Ooh, that is a Bentley idea.
Bentley's new. Hey, he's coming in hot. He's 23, fresh out of business school, going to work for big giant red lighter company.
Yeah, and they never. Any ad you see for these lighters, for grill lighters,
right?
It's never this will light for a long time. It's always, man, this is good at lighting things.
Yay.
Which they all are just fire.
Yeah,
you can't really improve on fire.
That's it. You know what, Nathan? That's a good point.
Yeah, they have those. I don't know if you've seen the commercials, but there's one now that I think it's big. Yeah, that Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg are selling together.
Oh no, they're a dream team.
They are. It's America's favorite felon and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, right. Oh. I know.
But yeah, it's. All they're talking about, they have to have them on there making weed innuendos.
Yeah.
Because they can't go, this is a better lighter than the other lighter, because it just does the same thing as all the other lighters.
Yeah, right. There's no distinction between them.
It's just not signed off. Big Red Lighter's not signed off.
Right.
On by a large hip hop celebrity.
No.
Or Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you hope any gas station in the middle of nowhere will have.
Oh, they will. They buy them and they sit there for 10 years.
That's true sometimes. That's
on that weird aisle in every like rural gas station where you're like, how often are people looking for bait?
Yeah. Well, it's like the hardware store aisle, right? I love a place like that, to be honest.
Yeah, but you go in and you're like, I don't think that wrench is going to help fix anything. Why is it so small? Why is it such a small wrench?
Yeah, and it's literally made of like compacted tinfoil, right? We bought a wine opener from a gas station one time, and you could see it bending as it was. It was one of the ones with the corkscrew, and it looks like a guy with two arms going up in the air, going woo. It was like that, you know? And like, I mean, I think we still have it, but we never use it because it's always
because it's going to break.
It's going to break. Yeah, exactly. And then what do? You know, the cork halfway stuck in a wine bottle.
You break the top off of it.
I mean, yeah, I have. I think I actually have done that before.
Yeah.
Just, you know, put it through a sieve. Make sure you don't get any chunks of glass.
Drink the glass. That's what you do if you're hardcore.
Is that how the Italians would do it? Yeah,
I think so.
Welcome to Sushi Jackknife.
Hey,
hi. It's getting to be spooky season.
Ooh.
I mean, well, it is spooky season. Halloween is but a few days away.
Halloween is nigh.
We're recording this on the 28th,
which is
nigh. Nigh Halloween.
I don't. Do you, as an adult, care
about Halloween?
Yeah.
You know, someone asked me at work a couple days ago if I was going to dress up or anything, and they seemed genuinely excited about Halloween.
And you said, I'm going to dress up as your mom?
I mean, that would have been a better response than what I said, because I think I just said, like, I'm just going to wear my clothes. And I don't like the effort. I like Halloween.
I don't care.
I don't like costumes, I think is what it is.
Did you like costumes as a kid?
I mean, who doesn't? What kid doesn't like costumes?
At what age?
Oh, wow.
All right, so...
I think I was done after, like, 13, probably.
Okay, at 13 you hated costumes.
No, I think 14.
14 you hated costumes.
I think so. Yeah. It might have been. I might be trying to seem cool, so it might have been later than that.
Now, what happened to the Comic-Con crowd that they never stopped hating costumes?
You know, it's a different...
They have joyful wonder in their hearts.
It's a different gene, man, because, like, I can't... Well, it's an effort thing for me. Like, it would be fun if, I could think of something I wanted to dress up as.
Well, you're supposed to pick a random character from... Any of the movies you watch, every movie you watch is set for...
I know.
For cosplay.
That's true. And I did almost buy a Hellraiser mask this year, because I thought I would make it to a Halloween party that I didn't make it to. Yeah. But it was a costume party, and I thought, well, if I'm going to go, I'd like to wear something.
So you would have just worn your regular clothes, actually, but Hellraiser mask?
Yeah, actually, that's what I was thinking of doing. I was going to go as Chill Pinhead. Because, like, I just don't want to dress. I don't want to do the whole
I do like
costume. So it's just the mask and then my normal clothes.
There is something about, like, Halloween parties.
Yeah.
When there's food, just glancing over and seeing a person, like, full costume.
Yeah.
Like, full vampire gear or something.
Yeah.
Over there, just like, I'm getting a little celery.
Yeah, munching on the crudité.
Ooh, that looks pretty good. Is that hummus?
Oh, hummus. Vampire likes hummus.
Is there garlic in it? I like garlic.
So maybe if I didn't have other things that I was way more interested in doing.
Yeah.
But I do. I mean, it kind of the Dragon. What did you say? Dragon Con? Is that the one you're thinking of?
Well, any Comic-Con.
Any that kind of the costume.
Is Comic-Con a specific thing, or is it a general thing?
There are comic. I think. Well, there are specific Comic-Cons.
Okay, I'll say it like this.
Yeah.
Any of those conventions, I call them Comic-Con in the same way that I call every tissue I put boogers in a Kleenex.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Yes, it may be a Puffs, but it's a Kleenex.
It's a Kleenex.
So
yeah, right, exactly. So I don't know, maybe, I don't want to. I'm not shitting on it. I just don't. It's just not. I'm just not that interested.
No, I mean, I didn't figure you were, because you're interested in literally everything, other part of that
world.
Yeah. Aside from wearing costumes.
Yeah, I like comic books. I like genre movies, genre books.
Yeah. You would even enjoy probably listening to the people talk about
I would.
all of the stuff that went into making those things.
Oh yeah, I could I've never been to a Comic-Con, but I'd probably enjoy it. I could go to a panel and sit around and listen to people talk about stuff that I like.
But if someone tried to get you to wear a costume.
I know. Well, see, part of it, I mean, I don't even want to see other people dressed up like that, to be honest. It doesn't do anything for me. It's not exciting to me.
Okay, so I'm a people watcher. I enjoy people watching.
Observation.
I don't feel like I would enjoy people watching at a Comic-Con. Because it's people trying to be watched.
Right. They're asking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not natural.
Like if you dress up like someone from Avatar, you're trying to get attention. That's not a normal thing you just do, I would assume.
You like your voyeurism en natural.
Right.
Yeah, you want to see people.
I want it to be, I just want that little extra piece of creepy where people don't know I'm watching what they're doing.
Right.
It's one of the best thing about going to any sporting event.
Right.
Is not just people watching, but people listening to the people all around you having their conversations, because
yes,
some of them are very stupid.
Well, sure, of course. Most,
and you
95% of what people talk about is pretty dumb.
Yeah, you get to hear them and just sit there going, "That's not right."
Yeah, nope.
You got every fact in that sentence wrong.
Yeah. I get really. Maybe increasingly the older I get pretty stressed out, and not even crowds, not even just large crowds, but just like anytime I'm kind of packed in, I don't know. It's not like a claustrophobia. It's more about the humans, And when
did you start feeling this, Justin?
Oh boy, no, we're not. We're not doing that. No, I've just noticed it's gotten worse. That's all. It's like I don't know. I like a small number of people's fine. You get a whole bunch of people together, and I get real nervous.
Oddly enough, I like a whole bunch of people.
Okay.
Not by myself.
Okay.
If I'm with someone.
Yeah.
But also specifically if it's not people I know.
Okay.
Like if it's a bunch of people and I know most of them, then there's more of an anxiety thing.
Okay.
Because then it's like, okay, well, all these people know who I am.
Yeah, right. So
like there's like do I need to talk to that person? Do I need to do this?
Yeah. So is the anonymity.
Right. But like if it's, 3-4 people and we go to a Nashville Predators hockey game.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those people. I'm probably never going to see them again. I do not run in the same crowds as them.
Yeah. I'm thinking about this now. Particularly bad at in like a quiet restaurant. Like a quiet restaurant unnerves me.
Why?
Especially if there's a lot of people.
Oh, quiet restaurants. Well, how many people are in this quiet restaurant?
There's a lot of people, but it's very quiet, and so anything I say could be easily heard.
Are you talking to other people?
No, I'm talking to whoever I'm with.
Okay, so I thought you were by yourself.
No,
in this
by myself.
situation.
I don't care, actually.
Because that's a problem. If you're going to a quiet restaurant full of people by yourself and just having full conversations.
No.
Don't do that.
No. And I don't think I'd feel nervous if I was by myself, because I probably wouldn't say anything.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Ideally.
I'd place my order. I might have a little small talk with the server.
The words you speak are, I will have
X.
Yeah. Thank you for the X. Can I have my ticket for the X?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, what about...
That's it.
What's the Y today? Oh, we have a really nice sea bass.
The Y of the day?
Yeah. Does that come with a remoulade? It does. Oh, wow. Yeah. Specials always have some kind of remoulade.
Someone's going to judge you if you're asking about remoulades.
Remoulades?
Yeah.
You got some mayonnaise?
Yeah.
That goes with that?
You and your fancy ass mayonnaises.
I wanted to ask you,
yes,
since it's very close to Halloween, and I don't know when this episode will come out, hopefully before Halloween. Mm-hmm. Have you ever, I know we're both mostly rational. I say that because I think you're completely more or less rational, and I'm about 75% rational.
Depending on the subject.
On the subject.
If any of your conversations start with, so I heard a guy on Joe Rogan.
You can have doubts. Yeah.
Then we're out of the.
You can have doubts.
I haven't heard that reference in a while.
No, I haven't been listening. Well, he did the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so
has he lost you now? Because
of that? Oh yeah. I'm not paying. First of all, I don't even like Spotify being on my phone because I can't use it.
I love Spotify.
I mean, I don't have an account, so I
pay for Spotify.
See, I don't. Yeah.
Because it's like the one pay service that I regularly use.
Okay.
Like even
All right.
we have Netflix and stuff.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
I use it occasionally.
You use it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's there when you want
Right.
it.
Spotify, pretty much daily.
Oh, that's good. Do you listen to podcasts on Spotify?
I listen to podcasts on Spotify.
Okay.
Like this fine podcast.
Yes, we are on Spotify.
Hey, are you interested in listening to a podcast?
Yes, I am.
Spotify.
Yeah, they're all there. They're all actually their integration has gotten way better, hasn't it? In terms of it has.
No, I've been. This is way off subject of what you were about to ask me.
Yeah, it's
but
fine. We'll get
while
there.
we're talking,
Yeah.
I've been listening to Spotify exclusive Armchair Expert
Oh, right.
lately.
Your Dax. You love Dax.
I tolerate Dax.
Okay.
So, okay.
What's the good part about the show?
No, so there are two people.
Oh,
Dax and Monica are the hosts.
Monica, okay.
They interview. So Dax, and I think you'll relate to this. This is a thing I've noticed listening.
Okay. All right.
This feels like something that you would experience, like a tendency that you would resist to do this similar thing.
Okay.
He's very pleasant.
Yes.
If it's like Sanjay Gupta is the guest.
Sure.
Someone like that.
Yeah.
If it's someone who's a comedian, it's like he has a tendency to try to out-funny them.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yes.
And he can't turn it off. Like, I think you would probably have the tendency to want to do that, but you can turn it off.
Yeah.
He can't turn it off.
He can't turn it off. Okay.
And so those episodes, you're like,
it's cringy.
that's a lot. That's a lot going on right now.
He's trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's someone who is clearly smarter than him, but he can be funnier than them.
Sure.
Then it's just a natural conversation and you move on.
Right. Well, I mean, he is a comic actor, I would say.
He did improv comedy.
Okay. All right.
I think was
UCB or something?
I was going to say UCB, but now it may be Second City. I can't remember.
There's a few of them.
One of the big ones.
Yeah, one of the big ones.
Yeah.
Sure. No, I was going to ask you, this time of year.
Yes.
And I was talking about how rational you are. Have you ever experienced anything
No.
that would lead you to believe there's you've never experienced anything?
No,
okay. Nothing. Well, blank slate here.
Yeah. What is this thing you're talking about? Yeah.
Have you ever experienced anything adjacent to the paranormal ever?
No.
Okay.
No.
Ever?
No.
Me neither.
My grandma has a story
Okay.
about
Do tell.
waking up. Everyone has this story. I feel like I've heard this ghost story a billion times.
All right, hit me with it.
Waking up and seeing a ghost at the foot of her bed.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a few
And
times.
she swears it was a ghost, which is... Okay, so it's weird for a couple reasons. Number one, it's weird when a person has only one ghost story.
Okay.
Because typically if you're inclined to believe in ghosts,
Yeah.
you think they're everywhere.
Right.
And so it's going to be like, and then it was really cold in the stairwell. And you're going to be like, okay, well, that's just a drafty building. But go on.
Yeah.
It was January. So that's like her only ghost story.
Okay.
But the weirdest part to me is she's a very Midwestern, churchy person.
Yes.
You don't talk about ghosts.
No,
You don't believe in ghosts. You believe in angels. You believe in demons.
Right.
But not ghosts.
Yeah.
Per se.
Right. Because that's not biblical.
Right.
I guess.
I mean, I would assume there's nothing specifically saying there are ghosts in the Bible.
I don't know.
I haven't done a lot of Bible ghost research.
Yeah. Well, we would need an expert.
Yeah.
We probably know a few people that could tell us.
I'm sure. But I mean, a lot of, even like when you talk about demons and angels and stuff like that, a lot of what people are thinking of still isn't even biblical.
That's like
a lot of that is Dante.
Yeah, a lot of that's Dante
and classical art and things like that.
And is a lot of that put in by the Catholic Church? It seems like a lot of it comes from there.
Yeah, I mean,
see, because growing up pseudo Baptist, and you growing up Nazarene,
yes.
I mean, there's none of that.
Yeah, I mean, like it talks about things existing.
Right. Yeah, but all we ever were
like supernatural existing.
Yeah,
but,
and stuff happening.
But
obviously.
It never... Like, there's never a part where they go, and here is what an angel looks like.
Right. I mean, there are a couple angels that pop up, right?
Right.
You know?
It happens.
It happens a few times.
Yeah.
But in general, they're not even... I don't recall them being like... What's the word? Given much attention,
well,
really.
Most of the time, they're just messengers.
Yeah.
So it's just like... And an angel showed up, and it was like, yo, hey... hey, Mary.
Hey, guess what?
So
you got some shit to do.
Yeah. You were going to have to explain this to a lot of people. None of them are going to believe you.
But yeah, like,
yeah. I mean, that's their main role. But it's like artists in the Renaissance period.
Yeah.
Because that's when a lot of the religious art,
right? Yes,
was done. Someone went, based on the few snippets that are in the Bible, this is what I think an angel looks like.
Right.
It's a fat cherub.
Yeah. They needed more stuff to paint, you know?
Yeah.
Come on.
When, like, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. What's more visually interesting? A lot of, like, dirty, deprived people in the desert walking around, or a choir of angels with golden trumpets and demons below them with pitchforks.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, okay, so the way I grew up, it was like God, devil, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That was basically it.
Yeah. And did you ever have to discuss the Trinity?
Not really. It didn't come up that much. It didn't come up. Yeah.
That's got to be one of the most confusing concepts that anyone has ever
put forth.
Yeah. Well, it's so let's say you believe that that's true.
Yeah, right.
We've gotten way off the rails here.
Well, we'll get back. We'll get back.
Let's say that is true, and you believe this.
That there is a Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and they are one and the same.
So it's an unexplainable situation that your dumb human brain is trying to explain.
Yeah, it's a paradox.
So it's like, hey, there are three people, but they're one person. Hey?
But there are three people, and sometimes one pops up and the other doesn't.
It makes perfect sense, right? In this way, when I explain it, it's like a clover.
And they contradict each other at times. It's very confusing. It's very confusing.
So that, anyway, all that to say.
Yeah, right.
So that's like the one story, even in my family, I can think of.
Yeah.
Which still to this day seems way off the wall.
Yeah. We've got a couple interesting things in the family. By the way, I never had the angel at the foot of my bed thing. I did, growing up reading comic books, I did wake up from a nap one time, and it was evening. Like, I fell asleep sometime in the afternoon, woke up and it was dark, and there was a, villain from a comic book I'd been reading. I saw him standing before my bed.
You can't be haunted by fictional characters.
Right. No, so I knew it was just my brain.
Right.
Well, now I know that.
Right.
When I was 8 or whatever, I don't think I knew that, but... So
Batman's haunting me.
Right. No, mommy. He had I don't even remember who it was. We had a hood and shit. He was real creepy.
Don't make me go to bed. The penguin will get me.
Oh, Jesus. Danny DeVito popping up, eating fish at the foot of your bed.
Which would be scarier to wake up to? The penguin, Danny DeVito, or It's Always Sunny, Danny DeVito.
I think I'd rather wake up to the penguin, honestly, because you don't know what's going to happen with Frank. Frank's a big question mark.
Oh yeah, he's a wild card.
And then there are stories in the family about healing and things like this, because we're, I don't know, rural people, and supposedly there was someone in the family who had a disease that they had as a child, and that disease was taken out of them and put into a dog. and then they didn't have.
What did the dog do?
The dog didn't deserve it, in my opinion. All right, and the dog didn't do anything.
Is this a PETA approved?
No.
Healing practice?
No, I don't think so. And there's others, kind of folk tradition stuff like that around.
See,
there's that kind of stuff.
Here's the thing your family didn't discuss on that one.
Yeah.
The idea that the disease left the person and went into the dog.
Yeah, right.
Is semi-biblical.
Oh.
Except in the story where Jesus takes the disease from the man and puts it in the pigs that run off the cliff.
Legion.
It's not disease as much as demon possession.
Yeah, like lots and lots of demons, right?
Yeah,
that's the Legion story, right?
Yeah. So
oof,
that's a much spookier story there.
That's
if you think about story. If you think about as a demon came out of your relative and went into the dog.
Oh boy,
how do they know it went into the dog?
I don't know. I guess the dog.
Did the dog start coughing?
Yeah, it was like a respiratory thing. So yeah, the dog. I assume. I mean, this is a story I heard. I don't know.
I just would like to know the thought process on that one.
I can't tell you.
I'm not even judging.
Yeah, I know there's this thing called. It's not like witchcraft thing. It's more like a folk Appalachian thing. I think it's called wild crafting, where it's like herbs and things like that grow wild
That sounds right.
Use as medicines and things like that. So I don't really know too much about it, but that's a term that I've heard. Maybe it's something like that, where they're
interesting.
It's not quite witchcraft. It's
Appalachian voodoo.
Yeah, kind of. It's what it sounds like. Yeah, it's what because these are very religious people,
right?
So I don't know, but I thought I would bring up, just some stuff, right?
Oh,
since
boy.
Are
you going to try to make me a ghost believer?
Not at all. I just wanted to talk about some things in our area, that are supposed to be haunted.
Oh, okay, boy.
Some haunted stuff near Nashville. This is from, I'm sure, the very credible website nightlyspirits.com.
Yeah, that's
Nashville's top 5 most haunted locations, and they want to sell you a tour.
To be fair, that is exactly as reputable as
anything else.
Any ghost website's going to be.
Good point. So, all right, here comes. I don't think these are in any particular order. Okay, so I'm just going to hit you with some stuff. First, we've got the Pegram County Cemetery, which is not really in Nashville, but. It says, in the 70s, developers cleared a stretch of land along the Harpeth River near Nashville. The property included the Pegram County Cemetery. During construction, dirt from the site was scraped off and sold as fill dirt all over town. Soon it became clear that the developers hadn't moved the bodies.
Oh, boy.
This is the plot of Poltergeist. From the cemetery. A coffin washed up from the river into someone's yard. Strange things started happening, Nathan. Not only at the original site, but also wherever the soil from the cemetery had been taken. Houses far from the river had their basements filled with water, and inexplicable fires destroyed buildings.
Those are just things that happen to houses.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's a thing, if you have pipes.
Yeah.
They can, sometimes they don't work. And they fill your house up with water.
And inexplicably, several houses, when it was warmer outside, some of their doors stuck a little bit.
It's so strange. Yeah. All right. I don't know how. I don't see much in that one, other than the fact that they probably should have moved the bodies just for.
What that is
decency.
That's just poor planning.
Yeah, it sounds like poor planning.
That's a story of poor planning, not a story of ghosts.
No. Right. All right, this is a big one, the Tennessee State Prison. No doubt you've heard a little bit about this.
I've heard mention.
Yeah, so you can see this somewhere off of the highway, I think. I always get the location wrong, but I had
it pointed out to me once.
Okay.
And I never confirmed whether they were right or not, and I don't remember where it was.
So so the Tennessee State Prison, right? Original prison's built in 1831.
Ooh.
And it was specifically designed for harsh treatment.
Okay.
Prisoners.
Now, I will say, not believing in ghosts.
Yeah.
If you had the setup for a place where there would be a ghost, that is definitely the setup for a place for a ghost.
Oh yeah, and this place looks very gothic. You might pull up a picture just for your own reference.
Not in fill dirt, by the way.
Right? No. I mean that just seems like a stretch to me. That even the fill dirt,
right?
Like wherever that dirt, and I mean that dirt's everywhere by now.
Right.
It's all over the place. So, what about the worms? Did the worms get possessed by the spirits of the people because they ate the dirt?
Ooh, that is a creepy building.
Isn't that a creepy? Like, can I see too? Yeah, it's a creepy building. It's very gothic, right?
I like that. You can buy a poster of it for $18.05.
Specifically?
Yeah, that's
a strange number.
It is a very strange choice
because it was built in 1831.
It looks like the building looks like something you would see on Downton Abbey.
Definitely. But creepy because it was a prison.
Yeah. Although probably just as many people died in
Downton Abbey.
In Downton Abbey.
Downstairs.
They just don't talk. Yeah. No, it's the downstairs people that died.
Prisoners were forced into long days of labor. When the work ended at the end of the day, they were marched back to their cells and no one was allowed to talk to each other. A woman's wing was added in 1892, but severe overcrowding soon forced the men and women to be imprisoned together. I'm guessing there were too many men.
And that, I'm sure, went very well.
Way back in the 1800s.
Yeah, nothing went poorly in this plan.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. In 1898, a new prison building was erected, but many of the building materials were taken from the old building. Again, with the recycling of materials.
Do they think that construction materials are what moves ghosts about?
Apparently, because the next sentence says, some people believe this brought any spirits wandering the old grounds into the new prison.
You've got to be kidding me. Here's a glaring omission in both of these stories.
Okay, great.
Now, I know the first one's I guess we'll cut the first one out of this glaring omission.
All right, fine.
Because it was a graveyard.
Yeah.
However, the prison, they are not mentioning any stories about people dying.
Well, I haven't finished.
Okay, so but we're to the point where it's already haunted.
Well, yeah, apparently. The unhappy souls, Nathan, of prisoners who died in this grim place don't seem to be able to escape it.
How many people died?
It doesn't say. People often hear strange sounds like the clanging of something being dragged across prison bars. Footsteps will approach from behind. Now, that would creep me the fuck out. If that happened to me, if I heard it, because there are sometimes you'll be in a certain type of room where the reflections are such that you sound like your own footsteps are echoing behind you or something.
Right.
Like, that's a creepy feeling. But when you turn around, no one is there, and screams sometimes echo through the grounds, sounding much like the unfortunate souls whose lives were ended there in the electric chair. Oh, boy.
So you want to know what closed it?
Yeah, please.
I feel like this makes it less creepy.
Okay, yeah.
It was last used as a state penitentiary in 1992.
Wow, that's fairly recent.
Yeah, but it was closed and padlocked shut because of asbestos.
That makes sense. Makes sense. I'm sure it was filled to the brim with asbestos.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't realize the Green Mile
was shot there.
I mean, not obviously they didn't go into the building that had been shut off because, cancers. Right. And went, let's just film in here. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the exterior.
They shot the exterior. Okay.
That's interesting.
Anything about
paint chips have piled up on the floors of cell blocks now.
Yeah. I know people, I think you can visit it, or maybe you can't visit it and people just do it clandestinely. I don't know.
That's actually what I was looking for. And then I got distracted by the least creepy reason a building's ever been closed.
As they so often are closed.
Yeah. Oh, here. Can you visit Tennessee State Prison?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. There you go. So anyone who I've heard from that has, quote unquote, been there, they've snuck in.
Yeah, and you should probably list their names here right now.
Yeah. I mean,
for everyone to know.
There's like a number of reasons not to sneak into a building like that, apart from the fact that it would creep you out.
Yeah.
Like things falling on your head.
Yeah, actually the creeping you out part. See, now that is where a ghost comes from.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here's the setup for a horror movie.
All right, let's do this.
Teenagers. It's always teenagers.
It's got to be teenagers.
The
youths.
We're going to set this because it's now 2021. We're going to set this in 1982.
Perfect.
Because that gives you the perfect opportunity to have them dressed funny.
Yeah, and no cell phones.
Yeah. And saying things like, "No, man, that's bogus." Okay. So,
I like it.
They break in because they hear it's haunted.
Right.
Right.
Definitely.
They go through the fence.
Yeah.
They're in the prison.
Uh-huh.
Something falls on the head of the teenager.
I like it.
Okay, that's when you do a jump cut to present day, where it's just like a kid waking up.
All right, in a bed.
Yeah,
yeah, like a little kid.
Just going about their normal day. It could be a little kid. It could be a high school kid.
All right.
It just can't be an adult because adults are never haunted.
No, because
unless they're pretty blonde ladies.
Right, that does happen from time to time.
It's pretty blonde ladies or children.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so that's the setup.
I like the setup.
Uh-huh. Now, for some reason, they have to end up at the state prison.
Well, all right. So the kid obviously starts having visions of
I like the
events,
visions. Uh-huh.
Right? Of events that have happened, flashes of events that have happened inside the prison. I'm sure we could tie in stories of particular prisoners who were tortured there. Maybe one of these poor women in the mixed wing was attacked by
that's the really mean ghost.
Yeah,
you know how there's always a bunch of ghosts in those movies, but there's one ghost that's like, I'm a really mad ghost, and everyone's like, no, not that ghost.
Even the ghosts are afraid of that ghost.
That's the boss ghost.
That's right, it's the boss ghost. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
and then somehow we have to weave together these stories. Like maybe that body of the kid who got hit by in the head with something is still there.
Yeah.
And their soul is not. They could be the spirit guide.
Okay.
Look at this. To the young child who's having the visions. Yeah.
But then at the end,
it
turns out all of it was just a nightmare. Or was it?
I actually really
the end ?
There are some. Speaking of some of the movies I've been into the last couple of years now, right? There's some times where they take that a little too far.
Oh yeah,
like I've
that's a common trope right there.
It's a very common trope, but sometimes they'll do it like twice.
Yeah,
it's like, oh no, it was a dream. Oh no, it was real. Oh no, it was a dream. Yeah, and then there's another.
Now I'm eating pancakes.
Right? Yeah, it's like, quit jerking me around. I don't. That's annoying.
That's actually the sequel idea right there.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just 2.5 hours of is it a dream or is it not a dream?
Ooh, wow.
Just the kid keeps waking up and it's like, oh, no, it's fine now.
Is that the name of our movie? It's Just a Dream?
Yeah. That works.
That's obviously what the dad or mom says to the kid.
I think what I just described sounds like a Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah, I like it.
It's
a good plot.
Yeah, just a lengthy session of just these horrific things, but then the kid wakes up.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
If the kid
he wakes up in another nightmare?
Right. I was going to say,
what it just keeps going.
What if he wakes up in more peril than he was in before? I'm okay with that.
Right. Yeah. At some point, he just wakes up.
Yeah.
And he's like in a torture chamber about to immediately be killed, and then he just wakes up again immediately.
It's like Quantum Leap, but really fucked up.
So, and it's really easy to cast because you just need to find the right kid.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have like 4 lines in the whole movie.
Right.
Most of what he's going to do is just,
yeah.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
That's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Man, I need to go into the horror.
You do.
Really writing horror movies at this point is so easy.
Could we do this? Would you want to do this?
I mean,
I know you wouldn't take it seriously.
No, because then I'd want it to actually be good if I tried to do it.
Well, but could it be a horror comedy? You know,
the horror comedy field.
I love horror comedies.
It's been filled up though.
Has it?
Yeah. So
I always feel like there's space for another good horror comedy.
I can't think of the name of the last one. The one with Vince Vaughn in it.
Oh, Freaky or whatever.
Yes. Where it was
Freaky?
like a spin on Freaky Friday.
Yeah, and they switch bodies with serial killer.
I think they have won.
Yeah.
In the creativity department. I watched it. I actually enjoyed it.
I haven't actually seen it.
And the idea that they made a horror comedy out of a Disney movie.
Yeah, Freaky Friday. Yeah. Well, yeah, no.
Amused me a great deal.
No, it's a good idea. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it percolates up now and then.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are not good.
Yeah. Well, I feel like what happens, just as a casual observer, because I don't watch them,
sure,
is you have a bunch of really earnest horror movies for like 5 or 6 years.
Right.
And then someone goes, all right, this is getting stupid, guys.
Yeah.
And then they make fun of the whole genre.
Right. Well,
and that becomes a thing for a couple years, and then it goes back.
When we were teenagers, there was the scary movie franchise, right?
Yeah.
Which were really dumb,
right?
Looking back. I mean, they have their moments,
right,
for sure. But, like, I don't know, overall, kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, and before that, like Scream.
Yeah.
It's still a horror movie, but it's making fun of horror movies.
Yeah, well, Scream, as I've learned more about this, like, revitalized the horror genre, because it had a bit of a dip in the 90s.
Right.
After the 80s was hardcore horror.
Yeah.
You know, and then, there was a bit of a dip in the 90s.
But they were playing it, part of it for laughs.
Well, oh, sure. Well, and just the whole meta thing. Well, that Scream was written by Wes Craven, who also created Freddy.
Yeah.
And a lot of other things. Yeah. So, it was kind of his reimagining.
So it's just like these weird waves. Because I remember when I was in college.
Right.
All of them were very supernatural, demon possession type of
love that
movies.
stuff, man.
See, those are the ones I can't get behind.
Okay.
I actually... Here's a mild rant. It's going to be a short rant.
Okay, good. We like a nice tight rant.
Right. So, and I feel like slasher movies do this well.
Okay.
I still don't like them, but they do it well.
Okay.
Going back to who is the person that everyone thinks of when they think of like the godfather of horror? Created the horror genre in not B movies, but like as a main Hollywood feature.
Hitchcock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hitchcock, none of it was ghosts.
No.
None of it was spirits. None of it was in the spiritual realm.
It's true.
It was always something that could actually get you.
Right. Yes.
So.
Yes. And it was very psychological.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at some point, people went, yeah, but like, what if we got rid of that? And it was just like, hey, that building kills people. Ooh.
Well, I mean, and some of the Hitchcock stuff might be better categorized as thrillers.
Yeah. Oh, well, he did a lot of thrillers. Yeah. But, I mean, the thriller, like Psycho is a thriller. But there's so much horror.
Oh, it's a horror movie too. Yeah, it's one of the greatest. Yeah,
it's the perfect long con of a movie too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. That's
because you do think you're in a straight horror. Yeah. I remember the first time I watched it, going, I don't really understand where like the shower scene is going to happen. I know that happens.
Yeah, yeah,
and. I mean, it's like a full hour into the movie before you get to the actual movie.
Right. No, it's the old bait and switch on that one.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Very innovative. Yeah. Well, no, so him, and then, I mean, they're obviously, you go back to a lot of the, like, more gothic type stuff you were having around the same time. A lot of it being produced in England. Mm-hmm. And then you get stuff like, there's some what they might call proto slashers, like sometimes this movie Black Christmas is called one of the first slasher movies. Yeah. Have you heard of Black Christmas?
I have a vague recollection of hearing the title.
It's a very good movie. I watched it. Yeah, I don't know, in the last year or so.
I just feel like slasher movies are better than ghost movies because everyone can be afraid of a slasher movie.
Sure. Oh, yeah, because it could happen.
I mean, as long as it's not like Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger can't really happen.
Or Jason, because they kill Jason a million times.
Yeah. He's very good at not dying.
Yeah,
it's a skill set.
He's like Frankenstein. He just keeps coming back.
But like the idea of just like a serial killer.
Right. That's a thing. That
that has happened.
I think what's fun for me about the supernatural ones is that I don't really believe in that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a fanciful escapism kind of thing.
But see, we've also discussed this, where when you watch anything, you're in.
Oh yeah, I get pretty deep in.
And I'm not in.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason is if I'm not in, then I'm stuck like paying attention to the dialogue.
Okay. And then you're even farther out. Then you're even farther out.
Yeah. Then you're watching those movies going, no one has ever phrased a sentence that way. Who wrote this?
Yeah. I've got suspension of disbelief more than you for sure.
I don't understand. It's like the same people who write like bad cable dramas, like TNT dramas.
Oh boy.
Also write horror movie dialogue.
Sometimes.
So the dialogue is both of them you're watching going, that's not human.
Or like
humans don't do that.
Or like B action movie dialogue is the same kind of thing. It's just moving. Oh boy. It's just moving the plot along. Or sometimes not.
Yeah.
Just meandering around.
A lot of times there's not a plot to move along. Specifically if we're talking cable dramas.
Yeah, right.
It's
true. You ready for another one of these?
Yeah.
How about Bell Witch Cave? You've heard of this?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
It has the name or the word witch in it, so that's a good start.
We're getting somewhere, right? The Bell Farm is found in Robertson County.
Oh, that's a spooky county.
Right. Nestled within green rolling hills.
Okay.
In 1817, the farm was owned by John Bell.
Okay.
Whose life was pretty good, according to this paragraph, except for one thing. His neighbor, Kate Batts, Batts, believed he had cheated her out of money, and she swore on her deathbed that she would haunt him and his descendants. After she was gone, he and his family reported relentless, strange noises and experiences.
Okay.
They often felt as though they were being pinched or having their hair pulled. Today, the original farmhouse has been torn down, but tours are allowed in a cave on the property, which is said to be the most haunted spot on the entire farm.
So it's just a ghost goosing people in this cave?
That's pretty much what it sounds like. Gotcha. She was pissed off.
Yeah.
But I've heard of Bell Witch Cave. And
there's your setup for a horror comedy right there.
I mean, it could be.
Okay, this lady... So this lady on her deathbed swears she's going to haunt that man and his descendants.
She's real pissed off about the money.
Flash forward, because you always have to start like, at least 2 decades before.
Yeah.
This is like 7-8 decades.
Oh, yeah.
We're a long ways.
Right.
Flash forward, someone is reluctantly going to a family reunion.
Yes.
In this scenario, there's still a house. You have to have the house.
You got to have the house, yeah.
Yeah, they haven't visited their family. Their parents never let them visit their family.
Right.
And they get there, and there's just this ghost that starts goosing everyone.
Yeah. And there's
pinching butts.
In the middle of, like, Thanksgiving dinner or something.
Yeah.
Not enough Thanksgiving-themed horror films.
Yeah. It's a whole situation where everyone is convinced that this ghost is trying to kill them, but it turns out the ghost is just trying to have a little fun and participate.
And you have to have an elderly person there that's like, don't go in the cave.
Oh yeah, no, there's an old man that sits on the front porch of the house.
Y'all don't go in the cave. He never says anything except for stuff about the cave.
Yeah, cave's off limits. Haven't been down there in years.
Don't go in the cave. Everything will be all right. Mm-hmm. What happened to your dog, great-grandpa? He went in the cave.
And then inevitably they go in the cave.
Of course.
And it's just like this sad ghost.
Yeah.
Because the ghost didn't get repaid the money and also doesn't get to participate in Thanksgiving.
Is this a story of redemption?
Yeah, the ghost gets invited to Thanksgiving dinner.
Hey, look at that. The ghost.
But then the ghost finds out ghost can't eat.
And she's all pissed off again.
Roll credits.
Yeah. The last shot is just like mashed potatoes falling through her body.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Hitting Splatting on the floor.
Yeah. Credits.
Cut to black. Credits.
It's a still. Mm-hmm. Roll credits over the still. Damn, Nathan. I think we have untapped potential here, my friend.
In horror movies, yes.
I think we can do this.
You don't have to be able to write anything.
Well, I mean, fine. Listen. If it frees us up to follow our dreams. I don't know that writing a bad horror movie is my dream. Well, it would be fun nonetheless.
A dream?
Yeah, it'd be fun nonetheless.
Okay.
It might be fun. You know, what else are we going to do?
All right, bring on the third script. Let's go.
Yeah, you want another one?
I got the script, yeah.
All right. Union Station Hotel downtown.
Oh.
Downtown Nashville. Mm-hmm. In 1900, a former railroad terminal was converted into a stunning hotel. This we know. Beautiful Italian marble floors.
Yes.
Crystal chandeliers.
Ooh.
Limestone fireplaces.
And murder?
Gave the hotel style that endures even today. Mm-hmm. That's an opinion. But
Stop editorializing.
Yeah, come on.
You're a news site.
Come on, nightlyspirits.com. Yeah. Okay. In room 711, they're said to be a permanent guest.
Okay, pause. For the script, we have to change that room number. No one's going to take it seriously.
7-Eleven's pretty dumb. Yeah. Oh, thank you. They're building 7-Elevens all over the place here now. So it's like, no.
Unless we could get a corporate sponsorship in our movie from 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
In which case, then it's a Slurpee ghost and it doesn't matter.
No, we kill the ghost with Slurpees, right?
It's the only thing that protects you is a blue raspberry Slurpee.
Love it.
From 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Oh, thank heaven.
Go get one now.
In room 7-Eleven, they have a 7-Eleven.
That would be the ultimate horror movie if you found out, like, you sit through an hour and 45 minutes of horror movie,
right? And
you find out at the end, all of it was just an ad for 7-Eleven.
Pissed off. The spirit of a young woman named Abigail has claimed
that's a good name.
Abigail's a good name. Has claimed that room, and she doesn't seem to be leaving anytime soon. Mm-hmm. Abigail went to the train station during World War II to say goodbye to her fiancé.
Okay, good backstory.
Who was being sent to fight in France.
Uh-huh.
When she found out later that he had died in battle, she went back to the station and threw herself in front of a train. Well, now, she is said to wander the hotel looking for her lost love.
If she threw herself in a train, why is she stuck in room 7-Eleven?
It's a great question. I don't know. Well, she returned to the hotel after being killed.
She's like
she's waiting.
A ghost got to sleep.
Right.
Where do I?
Yeah. She had checked into 7-Eleven, I assume.
Right.
She killed herself in front of the train.
She's a very rule-abiding ghost.
Right.
I paid for this room.
Yeah.
This is the room I'm going to stay in. Yeah. I'm not going to the other rooms.
No. So, I mean, what was she going to do? Hang out on the train tracks? Be a train track ghost?
I do like the idea of a train track ghost. Just like every time a train goes by, just I'm trying to grab as quick as possible before it gets by.
Like a hobo ghost?
Yeah. No. Oh boy. I like the backstory aside from the throwing herself on the train track makes sense.
Right.
But the returning to the room doesn't make sense in that scenario.
Right.
You need a better origin story.
Okay.
Of the ghost.
What if we combined all of these somehow?
Okay.
We got the dirt being relocated from the cemetery.
Okay.
We've obviously a great location is going to be the penitentiary.
Right.
It's a great location to shoot.
Okay. You got the dirt from the cemetery.
Yes.
The prisoners from the penitentiary on work release.
Oh, see, here we are.
Are forced to shovel this
to
fill in a hole.
The cave.
The cave.
They're going to fill in the cave.
Okay. So, you got cemetery...
Copyright Nathan and Justin.
You got cemetery dirt.
Yeah.
Filled with spirits.
Yeah.
Tiny dirt spirits.
Tiny dirt spirits. Grub spirits.
Right. All of a sudden, in a haunted cave from a scorned woman who wanted repaid...
Yes. Miss Bats.
Do we have an amount of money?
I was going to ask that.
Like, was it like a quarter? Is she just a petty ghost?
It's the 1800s. Are we talking like $20 now or something? Like,
yeah. How petty was this ghost?
She must have been pretty petty.
Like,
I gotta watch myself. I could get haunted.
She asked to borrow money, or he asked to borrow money from her to buy a newspaper.
Yeah, and
so she haunted him forever because he didn't repay that.
So he could read about the suicide at Union Station.
There we go.
Timeline's a little screwy. I understand some of these things happened.
Yeah,
but we're throwing all that out.
We're working with what we can.
We're working with what we got here.
Yeah.
We can't shoot in the 1800s and World War II, or this horror movie is going to cost.
Anyway, flash forward to 1982.
Yeah,
1982. That's always where we gotta have someone get killed because windbreakers,
windbreakers, synth pop music.
You got mullet.
Yeah.
And it's a fashionable mullet too. It's not. It's not a hillbilly mullet.
No.
All good things that you don't get to use in any other scene of any other movie. Anywhere.
Yeah, just some teens having fun.
Yeah.
I don't think there have been many horror movies shot in Nashville. I mean, I'm sure there have been plenty of independent ones.
Right.
But I can't think of any big ones that have been shot here.
No.
We don't. I don't know. This could be a thing. Yeah. So
how many horror movies have been shot with windbreakers?
Oh. Thousands.
Like we're talking neon windbreakers.
Oh, like I mean,
like the blue one where the pockets are for some reason yellow, and you're like, why is that yellow?
That's true. It looks like you're like air traffic control or something. Yeah. Yeah. So somehow we can combine all of these things together.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I like it.
It's a complicated story.
Yeah,
it's got lots of twists and turns.
It's not good.
No, it won't be.
However,
good.
It's also a horror movie.
Yeah,
the competition kind of low.
Oh,
well, I mean,
there are some good ones.
Okay, but think about recent horror movies.
Okay, fair enough.
What's good recently?
I'm not actually the person to ask.
I don't think anyone's the person to ask because no one talks about recent horror movies.
I'm still catching up on classics. Mm-hmm. Malignant is the one I can remember that came out pretty recently and people said was good. I don't know.
Malignant?
It's called Malignant. It was on HBO Max for a minute. It'll be back.
Malignant?
It's called Malignant. Yeah.
All right, let's see this.
I don't know.
I want to see if I'm satisfied with this plot.
And then there's the Conjuring movies. Those are big. Those are pretty fun. I've watched most of those.
Malignant. It's a supernatural horror film.
Okay.
I don't know anyone associated with this movie.
Yeah, you might not.
In horror movies, you don't most of the time.
A lot of times you don't. It's someone's first movie. A lot of times.
All right, so it was a $40 million budget.
All right.
We can't really talk about the box office because it's in the COVID time, so none of it means anything.
Sure, right.
So I talked about how many years previous do we have to jump back? At least 20?
20.
In 1993, Dr. Florence Weaver and her colleagues Victor Fields and John Gregory treat psychiatric patient Gabriel at Simeon Research Hospital.
Simeon.
Gabriel has special powers, able to control electricity and broadcast his thoughts via speakers.
Wait, this is Malignant?
Yeah.
Wow.
One night, Gabriel turns violent and kills several staff members of the institution.
Yay.
27 years later.
Yep. There it is.
Flash forward.
Nathan, you really do have a grip on the genre.
Madison Lake, a pregnant woman living in Seattle.
There we go.
Her name is Madison Lake?
Sounds like a subdivision.
Come on. Returns home to her abusive husband, Derek Mitchell.
Damn it.
After her pregnancy causes her to feel ill at work. During an argument, Derek smashes Madison's head against a wall, which causes her to bleed at the point of impact, after which she locks herself in the bedroom and falls asleep. This doesn't seem like a great horror movie thus far, as much as there was a guy who killed people and then 27 years later spousal abuse.
That's what it sounds like.
Madison later wakes up to find Derek's dead body after having had a dream of a man entering their house and violently killing him.
Oh.
The killer, who is still in the house, attacks Madison, rendering her unconscious. What did Madison do? Why is... We have known Madison for one paragraph, and she's been attacked twice.
She probably owed that guy some money.
That's the whole thing. It all comes down to owing small amounts of money in horror movies.
Or moving dirt around.
Yeah, this is why. And I've said this for years. Never owe anyone money and never touch dirt.
Sushi Jackknife?
Sushi Jackknife.
Happy Halloween, everybody.